Hi everyone, good evening. I hope I'm audible and my screen is visible. So let me know if everything is in order and then we can start with the session today. So I'll just wait for a confirmation and then we will get going with the session. Yeah, also try to log in from my account and just set up the chat. All right, yeah, perfect. So I think I'm audible, everything is fine. So we are good to go. I'll just mute myself. Okay, all right, perfect. So today we are going to do a session on logical reasoning. Again, as I already mentioned last time as well, and someone asked also, in fact, not incorrectly, but a lot of people wonder what is the difference between logical reasoning and data interpretation. And I generally like to believe that whenever you have any question that has, let's say, a lot of calculations involved, right? Then I'll classify it as a data interpretation set, and if there is a set that has a lot of logic involved, so there is not a lot of calculation as such, but a lot of logic that involves putting numbers here and there. Even if it involves numbers, it's okay, but logic hona chahiye, right? So there should be something wherein I am having a set of numbers and I just need to distribute them, or I just need to allocate them, arrange them, sudoku logic वैसा कुछ अगर है, I'll still call them logical reasoning puzzles. See, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, logical reasoning puzzle ho या data interpretation ho, end of the day you are going to get 4 questions or 5 questions in each set, and you have to answer those questions. And you have to get marks, right? So it doesn't matter whether it's DI के LR के semantics क्या है, उसके अंदर जाके कोई point नहीं है. So I would not really worry about the what is what. So that's basically the opening comments for today. So today we have a session on logical reasoning, and there are 2 sets that we will be looking at today. Both of them really interesting sets. One set is very easy to understand. Just that there is a lot of data that is present, and to replicate that data from screen to paper and then calculating everything, getting rid of those numbers, that is something that is very difficult. ठीक है, तो समझ में आ भी जाएगा, but the problem will be when it comes to one writing down the data. तो कहीं पे अगर 3 4 5 6 लिखा है and you write 3 4 6 5 let's say, so because of that one small mistake you might end up messing up the entire set, your concentration, your confidence, तो सब जगह से प्रॉब्लम हो सकता है, राइट? सो दैट इज बेसिकली द फर्स्ट सेट दैट वी हैव. द सेकंड सेट इज मोस्टली विजुअलाइजेशन. मैथमेटिक्स है उसके अंदर, देयर इज अ बिट ऑफ मैथ्स इन्वॉल्व, बट इट्स मोस्टली गोइंग टू बी विजुअलाइजेशन. यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट एग्जैक्टली आर द एसेट्स, हाउ टू डिवाइड देम, व्हाट इज द कैश कंपोनेंट, व्हाट इज द नॉन कैश कंपोनेंट एंड सो ऑन. तो इजी सेट है, मैनेजेबल सेट है, बट there is some complexity involved, and the last 2 questions will be slightly difficult. I'll not say very difficult, but थोड़े से difficult हैं, ठीक है? So on that note, let's start with the first set that we have here. So just to introduce daily drills to those of you who are new, because we are seeing a lot of subscribers over the last few days, and we are seeing a lot of sign-ups that are happening on the portal. So we have a portal wherein we float the tests that are there. So that is one bit. तो वहाँ पे we are seeing a lot of people signing up, but not a lot of people taking tests daily, right? So there is one or couple of things that I'm assuming will be the case. One, you are just signing in and keeping everything ready for when you are ready to face the tests. So mentally जब prepared होगे उस time पे you will face the tests. Fair enough, it's not a problem, that is fine. But if you wish to take the tests, you will have to confirm your email. So there is a confirmation of your email link that is sent to you, and you have to just click on that link, confirm your email, and once you do that, you will be able to take all the tests. Otherwise, there is a chance that you might not be able to view all the tests or take all the tests. So अगर आपको टेस्ट नहीं दिखाई दे रहे अपने पोर्टल के ऊपर, डोंट सिट क्वाइट, मेक श्योर दैट यू कंफर्म योर ईमेल एंड ऑल्सो देन यू आर टेकिंग द टेस्ट, ठीक है? सो आई शो द क्वेश्चंस टू दिस पर्टिकुलर सेट. सो एक तो दीस आर 7 इलेक्टिव, देयर वर 7 इलेक्टिव कोर्सेज एंड सो ऑन, and then there is this nice table that we have from elective to elective. So that is basically what we have here, and there is some information that is available here, which is before the change process there were 6 more students and so on. So there are 3 pointers that have been given to us. तो ये 3 चीजें हमारे पास हैं. These 3 are the data that have been given to us. I'll just try to reduce my camera because some bit is not visible. I can see. I'll just crop it from one side. Alright, so I hope it should be better now. Okay, just let me check once. Yeah, this is perfect. So this is basically what it looks like. In terms of the questions, there are 4 questions in this particular set. How many elective courses among E1 to E6 had a decrease in their enrollments? That is the first question. Then which of the following is the correct sequence of the number of students? That is the next question. Then you have, after the change process, which course among E1 to E6 had the largest change in enrollment in terms of percentage? Again you have 4 options, manageable question I think. And last में later the college imposed a condition and then something happened. So this is basically an if question. If question का मतलब क्या होता है? There is some information that is given to you and you have to use this information and recreate the entire table or data that would have been given to you. So that is basically an if condition. So straightforward questions हैं यहाँ पे. So if you look at them, so 4 questions and you have this bit of information that is available to you. Take a couple of minutes maybe, digest the data that is there. Try to see if you can get a head start and then we can start solving this particular set. So for those of you who haven't taken the test, I will wait for a couple of minutes, although it is recommended that you do it. So from next week maybe I'll start solving questions a bit faster. Because one, we have already gone through 4 weeks of content, or would have gone through 4 weeks of content by then, one. And second thing is, of course, in terms of the level of difficulty also, it will keep on slightly increasing as we progress. Okay? So I'll just wait for a couple of minutes. 8:10 we will start with the solution. So till then, if you have any questions, something that you observed was very interesting, let me know. I'll try to take some questions as well by the time others are solving the set, and then we can get going with the solution. Alright, and by the time we get some questions, there is one video that we released today morning, which was how to go from 60th to 99th percentile for the QA section, right? So in QA, if your scores are stuck, what is it that you can use, or what are the tips, strategies, hacks that you can use to go from that 60th percentile to the 99th percentile. So that is something that I discussed a bit. It's a short video. It's an 11 minutes kind of a video. So have a look at it. I have discussed a few things there that you can use in your upcoming mocks, and those will benefit you, be it in terms of how to select questions fast, how to look at all the kind of all the questions that are present and not focus on only the first few questions. तो वो सब चीजें कैसे combat करनी है, how to select questions, तो all those things I have discussed in that video. So have a look at it. Again, it has been received very well. In fact, the last few videos have been received really well. I would suggest you to have a look at those videos as well. And the 150-day plan to crack the CAT again is something that is performing exceptionally well. People are really liking that video. So if you haven't watched it, do watch that particular video. Right. So that is more or less in terms of the content. Rajat, is there any community which we can join to discuss any problem with you and other aspirants? So Rajat, maybe in the coming week, we will be launching the website. So you can see the URL at the bottom, point99.co.in. So on that portal, I have created a forum wherein we will put some questions. You can answer some questions. You can discuss it with the community. So all those things will be happening then. So just wait for a week, 10 days kind of a thing. And there will be something exciting that will be there, which is a no frills forum that exists, right? Because if you go on Facebook or Instagram, the problem is it's very easy to get distracted and go somewhere else. That's why we thought that we will have an in-house forum, and there you can interact with other aspirants, ask questions if you have any, and so on and so forth. Okay? So that is something that we will officially launch over the next week. So stay tuned for that. Alright, so I hope all of you have had time to go through this particular set, and some of you might have actually solved it as well. So let's start with the solution. Let's have a look at what could we have done in this particular context. So let's look at this. So there were 7 elective courses. Okay, Shivansh, I'll try to take it a bit later. Hi Shivansh, I missed your hi. There were 7 elective courses E1 to E7 running in a specific term in a college, right? So there are electives like what happens in case of your MBA colleges as well. Each of the 300 students enrolled, so 300 students are enrolled in that particular college, had chosen just one elective from among these 7. So someone would have chosen E1, E2, E3, तो single elective ही choose किया था. It was not possible that someone would have chosen E1 and E3, right? So everyone chose just one elective. However, before the start of the term, E7 was withdrawn as the instructor concerned had left the college. So E7 को cancel कर दिया. The students who had opted for E7 were allowed to join any of the remaining electives, right? Also, the students who had chosen other electives were given one chance to change their choice. So E7 में से किसी को अगर E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6 में जाना है, that would have been fine. Also, if you were stuck with E4, but suddenly you realize कि यार मेरे को E4 में नहीं E7 में E5 में जाना है, let's say, then you would have been able to shift to E5, right? तो एक chance दे दिया to change their choice. There is a table that captures the movement of the students from one elective to another elective during this process. Movement from one elective to the same elective simply means no movement. So अगर E1 और E1 है table के अंदर, it basically means someone was there in E1, that person moved to E1 or stayed with E1. It's the same thing. ठीक है? Some numbers in the table got accidentally erased. However, it is known that these were either 0 or 1. Very important. The missing numbers are either 0 or 1, and 300 is the total that we have. Now this is basically the table that we have from elective to elective. How do we read this? So E1 के सामने जो 5 लिखा हुआ है, this 5 that we have here, this tells us that after the shift or during the shift, 5 people who were originally enrolled with E1 decided to go to E2. So from E1 to E2, 5 people went. Similarly, if I look at let's say this 14, छोड़ो 14 पकड़ लेते चलो. ये 14 का क्या मतलब है? E4 के अंदर from E4 14 people went to E4, meaning that they stayed with E4. They did not go anywhere else, right? So that is basically the point. Similarly, E6 to E3 में there were 3 people who left, and so on. We also know that the total number of students in this entire table is going to be 300 because there are 300 students in this particular college. तो ये हमको पता है, right? Now we have to figure out what all are these gaps that are there. तो ये सारे gaps जो है ना, these gaps we have to figure out. We know that these gaps are filled by numbers that are either 0 or 1. ये मेरे को पता है, right? क्योंकि यहाँ पे दिया हुआ है. Some numbers got accidentally erased, but the erased numbers or the numbers that are missing are either 0 or 1. That is what we know. We also have been given some 3 pointers. Before the change process, there were 6 more students in E1 than in E4. After the reshuffle, the number of students in E4 was 3 more than that in E1. So basically, before and after के total को compare किया गया है. In the first point. Second point में the number of students in E2 increased by 30. Again, total को compare किया गया है before and after. Third point. Before the change process, E4 had 2 more students. Again, total of E4. Similarly, then E6, while E2 had 10 more students than E3. Again, E2 का total has been compared with E3 का total before and after the process. So one thing is certain that we have to get this total, and that total is going to give us some clues. So let's look at all the horizontal totals. Row के total सारे देख लेते हैं, and then we'll be able to get some insight. Column का भी ले लेते हैं, then we'll be able to get it. So I hope I will be able to calculate this properly. So 9 plus 5 14, 14 plus 10 24, plus 1 25, plus 6 is 31. तो अभी तक ये 31 है, and E का entire row is complete. So E का total is finalized as 31. इसमें कोई changes नहीं होंगे. There is no 0 or 1 that needs to be put anywhere. It is 31. Similarly, E2 के row का total, I'll tell you what the row का total and column का total mean or what do they translate into. But we will just write the totals first. 34 plus 8 42 plus 2 44 plus 2 46. Alright, so 31 and 46 is what we have here. 42 and 4 46. Yes. 2 plus 6 8, 8 plus 25 33 plus 2 35 is what we have here. 3 plus 2 5 19 and 4 23 is what we have here. 30 plus 5 is 35. 7 plus 3 is 21. 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 12 plus 9 is 21. Thankfully, I did 7 into 3 here, but I hope it's right. Yeah, 21, correct. And 16 plus 4 20. 20 plus 30 50 60 and 101. Right? I could have done everything in the form of a table and could have shown it to you, but I wanted to simulate the experience that you would have had during the test. Although I did not draw this entire table, but still, whatever I can, right? So E1 के कॉलम में अगर देखेंगे 9 plus 2 11 plus 4 15 आ जाएगा. 5 plus 34 39, 39 plus 9 48, 48 plus 12 60 plus 16 76 I believe. 10 plus 8 18, 43 45 48 and 78. And 14 plus 1 15 plus 5 20, 5 plus 2 7 37 and 6 is 43 and 50 and 10 is 60 here. Right? I hope this is right. I just calculate the total. Both of them should be the same sum. So let's see what this is. So we have 40 plus 30 plus 30, 100, 120, 150 and 120, 270, 272, 277, 280, 291, 292 is what we have here. So all the rows add up to 292 and column का अगर sum देखेंगे तो you will get 15 plus 76, 91, 91 plus 78 is 169 plus 20, 189 and 103. So 289 and 3, 292. Yeah, perfect. I think the numbers are fine here because they are matching. So that is my confidence booster here, right? Now let's see what this means. So row के अंदर you will see E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, E7, right? So from elective. So 31 people were present in E1 and they went somewhere. Either they stayed with E1 या तो they went to E2, E3, E4, E5 और E6. ये मेरे को पता चल रहा है. So this 31 is the before number that we have. And अगर ये भी समझ में नहीं आ रहा तो just look at what all elements or what all electives are there यहाँ पे. E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, E7 है ना यहाँ पे. Now the presence of E7 tells you that this is before. क्योंकि E7 second वाले में तो है नहीं, right? So all the rows will tell you the before का scenario, all the columns will tell you the after का scenario because column के अंदर E7 नहीं है, right? So 15 basically means that 15 people are now present in E1. After the shuffle, 15 people are present in E1. 76 people are present in E2 after the shuffle. पहले 46 थे, अभी 76 हो गए, and so on and so forth. अभी इसमें से कुछ चीजें मिसिंग है. As we fill those, these will also change by a bit. We have 292 here. We have to understand there are 300 students in total in this college. So 8 numbers are missing here. In other words, 8 of these blanks will have ones in them. क्योंकि 0 या 1 है and total 300 होना चाहिए. तो 8 of these blanks have to have a 1 in them. अभी additional information देखते हैं. Before the change, there were 6 more students in E1 than in E4. ठीक है, तो बिफोर द चेंज अब यहाँ पे 31 तो पूरा का पूरा है, तो देयर वर 6 मोर स्टूडेंट्स इन E1 दैन देयर वर इन E4 बिफोर द चेंज. तो बिफोर द चेंज अगर यहाँ पे 31 है तो E4 के अंदर 25 होने चाहिए थे, राइट? सो बिकॉज हियर देयर आर 31 पीपल एंड दिस इज 6 ग्रेटर देन E1, 31 minus 6 should have been 25. So this row should have added up to 25 instead of 23. Can we do this? Definitely yes, because there are 2 blanks here. The blanks can be filled by at most 1. So we can fill a 2 here and this will basically become 25 now. Right? So columns we will adjust later once we are done with this. But row के अंदर we will have a 25 here in front of E4. Right? We have adjusted 2 numbers. So यहाँ पे just make a note कि 2 adjust हो गए. We have 6 more numbers to adjust now. Then but after the reshuffle the number of students in E4 was 3 more than that in E1. So after the reshuffle, E4 was 3 more than E1. After the reshuffle, this is 15, this is 20. E4 should have been 3 more than E1. That is what we know. For the time being, there are some more gaps here. Let's not look at it now. We'll look at it a bit later. तो इसको जो है ना after the reshuffle, इसको we will look at a bit later. The number of students in E2 increased by 30 after the change process. So E2 में there were 46 people earlier and these 2 gaps were there. And E2 में there are 76 people later and there are no gaps here. So this is the final status of E2. There cannot be any other person who gets added to E2. So 76 is definitely the final outcome. So 76 minus 30, 46 should have been the initial outcome, which basically means that there is nothing that is present in these 2 boxes. So this we have taken care of. First point we have taken care of half of it. Before the change process, E4 had 2 more students than E6. So E4 here had 2 more students than E6. तो E4 के पास 25 थे, तो E6 should have had 23 because E4 has 2 more than E6, which basically means these 2 should be 1 because ये 2 से increase हो रहा है and there are only 2 blanks that are there and each blank can either be 0 or 1. So this part is taken care of. While E2 had 10 more students than E3. E2 had 10 more students than E3 and also we have adjusted 2 more. So यहाँ पे 296 हो गया है. E2 had 10 more students than E3 before the process. So E2 is 46. E2 had 10 more students than E3, which means that this has to be a 36, which basically means this one is either 1. अगर या तो ये 1 है या तो ये 1 है. Both of them can't be 1. One of them is 0 and one of them is 1. So I'll just write 1/0 and 1/0 in front of E4 and E5. Okay? So we have taken care of this part as well. Now we'll look at the element that we had missed and we'll see if we can finish the table. But after the reshuffle, the number of students in E4 was 3 more than that in E1. So E4 was 3 more than that in E1. This was after the shuffle. ठीक है, तो ये before अगर है, this part is after. So after the shuffle, E4 was 3 greater than E1. Now let's see what's going on with E1 here. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 and 4, 17 हो गया ना ये. So this has become 17 now. Now this can either be 17 और ये अगर 1 हो जाता है तो 18 हो जाएगा. That is a possibility that exists. ठीक है. What about E4? E4, right? Yeah, E4. E4 is 1 plus 14, that is 15 plus 1, 16 plus 5, 21 हो गया है अभी ये. This is 21 and it can either be plus 1 or 0. तो या तो ये 21 होगा या तो ये 22 होगा, that much we know. And या तो ये 17 होगा या तो ये 18 होगा, that much again we know, right? We know that E4 is 3 greater than E1. So अगर E1 17 है, let's say for example, right? If E1 is 17, then E4 will have to be 20 ना? But E4 is already at 21. So E1 cannot be at 17. So E1 has to be at 18. How can E1 become 18? अगर मैं इसको 1 दे दूं तो ये 18 हो जाएगा. Now E1 becomes 18, E4 will have to be 21, which means that E4 cannot be 22, which means we will have 21, right? So 14, 15, 16 and 5, 21. तो ये वाला बन जाएगा 0, ये वाला भी बनेगा 0, this one will remain 1 and this one would have increased to 37. ठीक है? Now let's see what all things we have here. We have 1, 1, 1, 3 ones we have added, 4 ones we have added, 5 ones we have added and 6 ones we have added. Which basically means that we have taken care of 6 more people compared to 292. तो 298 लोगों के लिए हमने अकाउंट कर लिया है, बट पूरे कॉलेज में 300 स्टूडेंट्स हैं. सो आई नीड टू हैव 2 more people in this table. मेरे पास 2 ही गैप्स बचे हैं. One is this one, one is this one, which basically means that these two, this row will increase by 2, will become 37, and these 2 columns will increase by 1 each. This will become 79, this will become 61, I believe. And यहाँ पे भी we have 2 more. So this will become 45, I am assuming, right? Now why did I do this much of shabby work? Because you would have seen the same thing when you were taking the test. ठीक है? So let's see if we have adjusted it properly. तो यहाँ पे +2 हो गया, यहाँ पे +2 हो गया, यहाँ पे +2 हो गया, यहाँ पे +2 हो गया. So 8 we have adjusted in the rows. कॉलम में देखते हैं, यहाँ पे +3 हो गया, यहाँ पे +4 हो गया, +5 हो गया, +7 हो गया, +8 हो गया. Again we have adjusted 8 here, right? So we have adjusted 8 in the rows, adjusted 8 in the columns. These are the final numbers that we have. So 18, 76, 79, 21, 45, 61. And rows के total में 31, 46, 37, 25, 37, 23, 101. Right? So that is basically the data that we have. All the cells are filled. इतना ही data हमारे पास है, तो इसके साथ अभी हम लोग question solve करना चालू कर देते हैं. So let's look at the first question here. How many elective courses among E1 to E6 had a decrease in their enrollments after the change process? Decrease मतलब before would have been a larger number. तो यहाँ पे before 31 था, after 18 हो गया, तो E1 has decreased. So decreased वाले list के अंदर E1 आएगा for sure. What about E2? It was 46 earlier, but it became 76 later. तो decrease तो नहीं हुआ है. E3 went from 37 to 79. It has increased. E4 went from 25 to 21, so E4 has also reduced. E5 went from 37 to 45, 37 to 45, it has increased, and E6 has gone up from 23 to 61. So there are only 2 electives wherein the number of students has decreased after the change process. So 2 electives, meaning option C is the correct answer for the first question. Alright, I hope you have understood what we are doing here, and in case there is any doubt, something you are not understood, something you are not followed, let me know in the chat. I'll try to address that. Those of you who have joined us now, these questions are made available to you throughout the day. ठीक है? So it's assumed that you would have seen these questions. अगर नहीं देखा तो I'll wait for 3-4 minutes on every set, and you can try it out on your own. या तो you can pause the video and let me know in case there is some confusion even at a later point in time. It's okay. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट वाला देख लेते हैं. Which of the following is the correct sequence of number of students in the 6 electives E1 to E6 after the change process? तो after the process पूछा गया है यहाँ पे. Now in this case after will be 18, 76, 79. So 18 not right, 18 not right, 18, 76, 79 we are right till here, and the next one is either 23 or 21. So let's see. The next one is 21, 45, 61. So 21 वाला answer is the right answer. 21, 45, 61. Perfect. So option D is the correct answer in this context, and या देयर इज अगेन वंस यू डू द टेबल इट्स अ वेरी स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चन, तो ये वाला भी मैनेज हो जाना चाहिए। क्वेश्चन 3 देख लेते हैं। Which course among E1 to E6 had the largest change in its enrollment as a percentage of its original enrollment? So change upon before, ये numbers हमको compare करने हैं। Whichever has the largest change percentage, that will basically be your answer. And change बोला है यहाँ पे, they have not spoken about increase or decrease here. It's just change that has been asked to us. ठीक है, so और options भी दिए हुए, so E1, E2, E3, E6 ही देखने हैं। E4, E5 we need not even check. So we'll just check for E1, E2, E3, E6. Let me write all the numbers first. So E1, E2, E3, E6 के before देख लेते हैं। E1 31, 46, 31, 46, 37, 23, 31, 46, 37, 23। ठीक है, these are the before numbers and अभी सबका change भी देख लेते हैं एक बार। So E1 का change क्या हो गया, 31 to 18. So E1 changed by 13. So I write 13 here. So it's 13 by 31 that we are calculating. E2 का change we need to figure out. E2 का change is 30, right? It has been given to us. Increased by 30. So ये तो अपने को given data में ही है, दिया हुआ है. So 30 by 46 हो जाएगा. E3 and E6 we need to figure out the change. E3 का change was nothing but 37 to 79. So 42, right? 42 से बढ़ गया. E3 was 42 and E6 was 38. Yeah, 42 and 38. Right? Now we have to figure out which one among these is the largest. Now 13 out of 31, 30 out of 46, 42 out of 37, 38 out of 23. First level of checking क्या करेंगे हम लोग देखेंगे भाई greater than 1 है कि नहीं है करके, ये सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है। 100% से ज्यादा इंप्रूवमेंट हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ है। 13 out of 31 is less than 1. 30 out of 46, okay, yeah, sorry, 30 out of 46 is again less than 1. 42 out of 37 is greater than 1. 38 out of 23 is greater than 1. तो डेफिनेटली ऑप्शन ए एंड ऑप्शन बी आर नॉट आवर आंसर्स, क्योंकि वो ग्रेटर देन 1 ही नहीं है, जबकि मेरे पास दो ऑप्शंस हैं विच आर ग्रेटर देन 1. नाउ आई नीड टू फिगर आउट 42 out of 37 is a better fraction और 38 out of 23 is a better fraction. That is what we need to figure out. बहुत ही सिंपलिस्टिक है, कुछ इसमें बहुत रॉकेट साइंस नहीं है ऑनेस्टली. इवन ऑब्जर्वेशंस यू विल बी एबल टू फिगर इट आउट. सो व्हाट डू वी हैव हियर, 42 out of 37. सो 1 से कितना बड़ा है दैट वी विल फिगर आउट. 5 out of 37 से बड़ा है, राइट? और ये 1 से कितना बड़ा है, 23 plus 15 हो जाएगा ना, तो 15 by 23 से बड़ा है. नाउ वुड यू रादर गेट 37 में से 5 मार्क्स और 23 में से 15 मार्क्स? If you are investing money, would you rather get 5 rupees on an investment of 37 rupees or 15 rupees on an investment of 23 rupees? The third basic thing that you can think about is my denominator is reducing but my numerator is increasing. तो अगर मेरे को 37 में से 5 मिल रहा है तो मेरे को 15 मार्क्स निकालने के लिए 111 मार्क्स लगेंगे, whereas here I am getting it out of 23 itself. That's why 15 by 23 or 38 by 23 is the better fraction and that's why D will be our answer. वर्स्ट केस ये भी समझ में नहीं आता, यूज द ऑन स्क्रीन कैलकुलेटर, कैलकुलेट द टू रेशियोज एंड उससे आपको आंसर आ जाएगा. ठीक है, सो द करेक्ट आंसर हियर इज गोइंग टू बी ऑप्शन डी, दैट इज E6 के अंदर वी आर सीइंग द लार्जेस्ट चेंज. ऑलराइट, लास्ट क्वेश्चन वील हैव अ लुक एट इट वंस, देन आई विल शो द नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन एंड आई विल वेट ऑन दिस फॉर सम टाइम सो दैट दोस ऑफ यू हु हैव अ डाउट यू कैन जस्ट आस्क इन केस देयर इज समथिंग दैट यू हैव नॉट बीन एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड. ठीक है, ओके, जस्ट गिव मी अ सेकंड. परफेक्ट. तो अभी क्या हो रहा है लास्ट क्वेश्चन में, लेटर द कॉलेज इम्पोज द कंडीशन दैट इफ आफ्टर द चेंज ऑफ इलेक्टिव्स द एनरोलमेंट इन एनी इलेक्टिव ड्रॉप्स टू लेस देन 20 कैंडिडेट्स. तो आफ्टर E7 का सब वो शिफ्ट होने के बाद, इंटर इलेक्टिव शिफ्ट होने के बाद, उसके बाद अगर कोई इलेक्टिव है जिसके अंदर लेस देन 20 स्टूडेंट्स हैं, इफ देयर आर फ्यूअर देन 20 स्टूडेंट्स दैट आर देयर इन दैट पर्टिकुलर इलेक्टिव आफ्टर द ट्रांसफर्स, all the students who had left that course will be required to re-enroll for that elective. Right? So let's say for example there is one thing that you will see, one elective जहाँ पे the number goes below 20 after all these shifts. Now what does this mean? Some people have gone out of this elective as well ना, so these people need to go back to that elective. So दो चीजें होंगी, one, all the people will come back to that elective, घर वापसी, right? Everybody will come back. And second thing, हर एक individual elective में से these people will now go away after वाले केसेस में. Right? So let's look at this one. इसके बाद क्या होता है? Which of the following is a correct sequence of electives in decreasing order of their final enrollments? So ज्यादा से कम decreasing order में हम लोग को अरेंज करना है. Let's see how many electives are there जहाँ पे 20 के नीचे नंबर जा रहा है after the shift. E1 is 18 less than 20 हो रहा है, E2 76, 79, 21, 45, 61, all the other electives except E1 are greater than 20. ठीक है, तो E1 is the only elective जहां पे the number is falling below 20, and that's why what will happen, all those people who had left E1 will be required to come back to E1. तो E7 का तो काम हो गया, वहां पे कुछ नहीं होगा, बट ऑल दी अदर इलेक्टिव्स वाले पीपल विल हैव टू कम बैक टू E1. तो E1 में क्या होगा, ये 18 तो है ही, बट दीज पीपल हैड लेफ्ट ना, 5, 10, 1, 4, 2, ये सारे लोग चले गए थे. सो दीज पीपल विल कम बैक टू E1 नाउ. So 5 plus 10 15 plus 1 16 plus 4 20 plus 2 22 people will come back to E1, and now E1 का number will become 40, right? I hope this is visible on the screen. Just let me check once. Yeah. So 40 is the number that will come here. So 40 people will now be in elective 1 after the reversal. अब E2 में से ये 5 लोग चले जाएंगे. So instead of 76, now my number will become 71. यहाँ से 10 लोग चले जाएंगे. So instead of 79, it will become 69. Instead of 21, it will become 20. Thankfully, it becomes 20. नहीं तो it would have kept on happening for someone who would not have been able to understand this. Clearly mention नहीं किया है कि will this be a one time affair or a perpetuity वाला thing, right? So someone might assume कि नहीं, अगर 20 हो गया तो एक और पीछे आ जाएंगे, अगर 19 होता तो एक और बार फिर से ट्रांसफर होगा and so on, but that is not the case. So E4 में 21 minus 1 20 हो जाएगा, E5 में 45 minus 4 41 हो जाएगा, and 61 minus 2 59 हो जाएगा. ठीक है, so we have 40, 71, 69, 20, 41, 59. So what is the descending order that we have here? E2 is the one with the largest number of enrollments. Okay, I'm so sorry, I write it somewhere else. E2 is the one with the largest number of enrollments, followed by E3, followed by E6, followed by E5, followed by E1, followed by E4. Yeah? So 2, 3, 6, 5, 1, 4 should be our answer. 2, 3, 6, 5, 1, 4. Yeah, 2, 3, 6, 5, 1, 4. Option A, I think, is the right answer to this question. Yeah, perfect. Alright, so option A is the right answer to this one. So that was basically the set. That was the first set that we had. So go through it once more if you want. You can just rewind, have a look at it, and let me know in case there is something you are not understood, something that is not clear, something wherein I jumped a step or something. Let me know in case कुछ भी है जो clear नहीं है. Till that time, till that point in time, I'll just float the next set for people who are done with this. So the next set is this one. An old woman had the following assets: 70 lakhs in bank deposits, one house worth 50 lakh, 3 flats worth 30 lakh each, and gold coins each worth 1 lakh. And there are 3 children: Neeta, Sita, Geeta. ये सब है यहाँ पे, and ये सब दिया हुआ है, right? Now then there are the questions that are there, right? So first question है, among the 3, Neeta received the least amount in bank deposits and so on and so forth. How much did Sita receive? Similarly, this time remains the same. How much flats or how many flats rather did Neeta receive? That is the second question. Third question में the value of assets distributed was 1:2 3. तो extra information दिया हुआ है. Gold coins were distributed in the ratio 2:3 4. So how many gold coins did the old woman have? And last thing, how much did Geeta get in bank deposits in lakhs of rupees? Right, so there are 4 questions. I'll just wait on this this set for maybe a couple of minutes. So it's 8:34 now. 8:37 तक wait करते हैं. It's almost 8:35. So 8:37 तक wait करते हैं. Then we'll start with the solutions. So I'll give you a couple of minutes. Take your time, go through this, and then we will look at it. Okay, ठीक है. Shivansh, you had asked a question, but I think you have deleted it. So hopefully you got the answer. Yeah, I forgot about something. You mentioned something about scores in MCAT and all. So for any section that you're finding a problem with, I have created one video for quant, how to go from 60 to 99, what does it take. I'll be creating similar videos for VARC and DILR as well. How to go from 60th percentile to 99th percentile, that journey. One, what it takes numerically to go from 60 to 99. And 2, what are the things that you should keep in mind, best practices, mentally where should you be, and so on and so forth. So वो videos are in the pipeline. Quant का you can just check once. Similar lines पे verbal और LRDI के videos भी होंगे, right? So that should help you. That was one thing, and yeah, more or less that was more or less in that context. Baki, we also have videos on syllabus in terms of how exactly to improve scores and so on. Rajat, again, that's the beauty of it. These are CAT sets. So these are better than cat level sets. These are actual cat sets. So yeah, that is basically what we had to do at the cat. So both these sets are cat 2017 slot 2, I believe. So unfortunately they were not in the slot that I had taken the cat that year. I was very sad about it. But both of these are cat sets and from the same slot. Yeah, so I'll wait another minute and then we will start. 45 seconds I think I'll wait, and then we will start with this one. And again, it is highly recommended that you take these tests before you turn up for the session, because it will help you come up with some ideas. In case I might have missed some data point, you might be able to tell me that acha yahan pe we could have done something differently. All those things are there. So generally being collaborative is the best way to solve these kind of sets and questions and all. So I hope जैसे जैसे आगे बढ़ते जाएंगे वैसे वैसे you will get into the habit of solving these tests. Alright, so let's get going with this one. Let's solve this quickly and let's see what happens. So in this case, an old woman had the following assets: 70 lakh rupees in bank deposits. So this is basically cash. One house worth 50 lakhs. So ये कुछ fixed asset है बोल सकते हैं. 50 lakh का एक house है, उसका worth is 50 lakhs. There are 3 flats each worth 30 lakh. Again, this is fixed. And certain number of gold coins each worth 1 lakh. Now this is again, you can say, a cash convertible component because it's easy to carry, easy to liquidate, that kind of an asset. So in case of organizations, generally जो liquidity की बात करते हैं, we are talking about that in this context. ठीक है? So यहाँ पे हम बोल रहे हैं कि कुछ cash था, कुछ houses थे. There was one house rather. There were 3 flats that were there, and then there were certain number of gold coins that were there. Right, so ये 4 चीजें थी with this old woman, and she wanted to distribute her assets among her 3 children, Nita, Sita and Geeta. तो 3 children उनको distribute करने थे. The house, any of the flats or any of the coins were not to be split. Right, so house को ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते कि half ऑफ करके divide कर लो. Flats को ऐसे नहीं बोल सकते कि you take 2/3 of this flat and the remaining 1/3 will go to someone, या फिर उसको liquidate करके जो पैसा आएगा वो पैसा divide कर लो. Those things you can't do. That is, the house went entirely to one child, a flat went to one child, and similarly a gold coin went to one child. This does not mean that these are distinct children that they are talking about. They are talking about अगर एक flat है तो वो एक ही child के पास जाएगा, एक house है तो वो एक ही child के पास जाएगा. The same child could have got the flat and the house, हो सकता है, but one person will get that entire asset, right? That's what has been mentioned here. And then there is nothing else. Then there are questions that are there, right? So let's look at the questions. The first 2 questions में we have this stem. Among the 3, Nita received the least amount in bank deposits. So we have 3 children, Nita, Sita, Geeta. So N, S, G करते हैं. Nita received the least amount in bank deposits. So lowest bank deposits is with Nita. Geeta received the highest. So highest bank deposits is with Geeta. The value of the assets was distributed equally among the children as were the gold coins. So value of the assets. ना तो value क्या क्या थी assets की? 70 यहाँ पे थे. 50 one house, so 120. I'll just write it here. 70 plus 50 plus 3 flats each worth 30 lakhs. So 3 into 30 हो जाएगा ये. And there were certain number of gold coins each worth 1 lakh. Right? So let's say there are X gold coins that were there. Fine. So total कितना हो गया? 70 plus 50, 120 plus 90 is 210 plus X gold coins. Fine. So that is what she had in totality. अगर देखेंगे तो this is basically what we're talking about in terms of lakhs. So 2.1 crores plus X gold coins थे. Now we have been told that the value of the assets was distributed equally and the gold coins were also distributed. अच्छा, so overall they were distributed equally. So let's say 3x gold coins थे. X नहीं लेते, 3x कर लेते हैं. That will make our life slightly easier because then everyone will get an equal number of gold coins ना. तो यहाँ पे we are saying that 210 plus 3x. right? So 210 plus 3x was her entire property or whatever wealth she wanted to distribute. It was distributed equally. मतलब क्या हो गया? Everybody got, each of these three people got 70 plus x ना. तो Neeta got 70 plus x, Sita got 70 plus x, and Geeta also got 70 plus x. So each one got 70 plus x because it was distributed equally. Also, all three of them got the same number of gold coins, equal number of gold coins rather. तो ये x जो है ना, ये सारे के सारे gold coins का ही value है. So Neeta got x gold coins, Sita got x gold coins, and Geeta got x gold coins. We also know that someone received a house, someone would have received flats, and so on. तो अब तीनों में से लेट्स फॉरगेट विच वन इज विच वन, तो ये भूल जाओ अभी के लिए. लेट्स फॉरगेट दिस. लेट्स जस्ट से 70 प्लस एक्स 70 प्लस एक्स 70 प्लस एक्स, डजंट मैटर विच वन इज विच वन. ठीक है, एक को किसी को तो हाउस मिलना चाहिए था पूरा का पूरा. लेट्स से दिस पर्सन गॉट द हाउस. नाउ इफ दिस पर्सन गेट्स द हाउस, देन 70 प्लस एक्स में से एक्स तो गोल्ड है, 70 बचा. अब 70 में से 50 का हाउस अगर दे दिया, देन आई विल नॉट बी एबल टू गिव अ फ्लैट ना, बिकॉज ईच फ्लैट कॉस्ट 30 lakhs एंड आई कैन नॉट स्प्लिट द फ्लैट्स. So one person would have got an entire house. Let's say another person gets a flat. तो इसको अगर फ्लैट मिल जाता है, let's say, right? So 30 lakhs का अगर इसको फ्लैट मिल गया, let's say for example, तो 3 फ्लैट तो नहीं मिल सकते किसी को भी. Nobody can get 3 flats, right? Because if someone gets 3 flats, the value will become 90 lakhs, na? But each one of them has got assets worth 70 lakhs plus gold coins. So all three flats cannot go to one person. Which basically means because the flats cannot be split, one person will end up getting one flat and one person will end up getting 2 flats. So एक को हाउस मिल गया, एक को एक फ्लैट मिला और एक को 2 फ्लैट्स मिले rather. So this is what will happen. Now what else will happen? If 50 is in the form of flats, x is in the form of gold or flats plus houses. So ये flats plus houses है. Gold is x with each individual. तो जो बचा होगा वो तो कैश ही होगा ना. So if 50 plus x is here, 20 has to be the cash that is received by this person, 40 has to be the cash that is received by this person, and 10 has to be the cash that is received by this person. 20 plus 40 plus 10, so 70 hai, which is the amount of cash that this woman had. Now we have been told that Neeta has the lowest amount of cash or bank deposit that was given to her. So this one has to be Neeta. And Geeta was the one with the highest bank deposit. So this one has to be Geeta. So Sita को कितना bank deposit मिला? The last one is Sita. Sita would have got 20 lakhs as bank deposits. So the correct answer here is option C, that is 20 lakhs. ठीक है. Second question, same information. How many flats did Neeta receive? How many flats did Neeta receive is the question. So Neeta was this one, and Neeta got 60 lakhs worth of flats. मतलब Neeta got 2 flats. ठीक है. So the answer to this question will be 2. Theta question था, तो the answer will be 2 directly. Yeah. So those were the first 2 questions. Let's look at the third and the fourth question. Now we have additional information here. The value of the assets distributed among Neeta, Sita and Geeta was in the ratio 1:2:3. तो assets तो same ही रहे ना, सारे के सारे assets. Assets कितने थे? 210 plus 6x, because 6x was the amount of gold that was there. Assets तो same ही रहे, whereas the gold coins were distributed among them in the ratio 2:3:4. So 9 parts. तो एक काम करते हैं, तो 6x की जगह पे we can take it as 18x in this context. Why am I doing 18x? Because 6x को 9 से डिवाइड करेंगे, 2/9 निकालेंगे, it would have been very painful. 3/9 करेंगे, that is still manageable. 4/9 करेंगे, it will be very painful, right? So ये 6x was an assumption ना from our end. So for these 2 questions, let's assume that the amount of gold coins was 18x, right? So 18x was the number of gold coins that was there. So 210 rupees of the assets that we know, and x gold coins each worth 1 lakh rupees. So 18x is the value of the gold coins that is there. Now we have been told that the gold coins were distributed among them in the ratio 2:3:4. So 18x जो है ना, उसको 2:3:4 के context में distribute किया गया है. One child got all 3 flats and she did not get the house. Okay, so let's do this first and let's see what happens. So 210 plus 18x, 1:2:3, right? That is the split that is there. Alright, just give me a second. I think I'll have to look at this one. Yeah, sorry about that. So let's look at the set now. So 210 plus 18x is what we had. 1:2:3 में करना है ना, तो 6 parts में इसको divide करना है. So if we divide it into 6 parts, we also know that was in the ratio of, so ratio दिया हुआ, तो this is basically the order, right? NSG का order same है. So let's say NSG is here. We are saying that 6 parts में इसको divide किया गया है. And 1 part goes to Nita, 2 parts go to Sita and 3 go to Geeta. तो Nita अगर मिल जाएगा तो बाकी सब अपने को into 2 into 3 करके मिल जाएंगे. 210 by 6 is 6 3s are 18, 6 5s are 30 and 18 by 6 is 3x. Right, so Nita would have got 35 plus 3x. This is the entire inheritance. Sita would have got twice of that. So 35 2s are 70, 3x 2s are 6x, and Geeta would have got thrice of that. So 35 3s are 105 plus 9x. 3x into 3 is 9x. Okay. So this is basically the inheritance का value that these people have got. I'm not saying that 3x is the amount of gold or whatever. 18x is the value of gold. But ये पूरा का पूरा वैल्यू का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है, राइट. सो दिस इज बेसिकली व्हाट दीज पीपल वेर डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड. गोल्ड के बारे में भी हमको बताया गया है. गोल्ड के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में भी अगर देखेंगे 2:3:4 है, 18x है, सो 9 मतलब 2x विल बी वन पार्ट. सो 4x विल बी द वैल्यू ऑफ द गोल्ड दैट नीता हैज गॉट, 6x will be the value of gold that Sita has got, and 8x will be the value of the gold. So this is value of gold. It is not how many gold coins. So जो x था ना, that was value of gold. 18x was the value of gold. तो ये समझ लेना यहाँ पे, right? So this is the value of gold that these people had got. One child got all 3 flats. Okay, तो एक काम करते हैं, इसमें नॉन गोल्ड लिख देते हैं. नॉन गोल्ड मतलब क्या हो गया? हाउस प्लस फ्लैट्स प्लस कैश. ठीक है, तो ये वाला कॉम्पोनेंट. लेट्स ट्राई टू डू इट लाइक दिस. Again, I did not go for tables which were pre-filled because I wanted to simulate how it looks like at the cat as well. इसके लिए it might look slightly shabby, but this is basically how you understand, right? तो अगर 35 plus 3x में से 4x was the value of gold, what was the value of these 3 assets combined? So 35 plus 3x minus 4x will be 35 minus x. 70 plus 6x minus 6x will be 70, and इसके अंदर you will have 105 plus x. So this is the value of all the other assets except gold. ठीक है, hope this is visible. Yeah, it's visible. Fine. So this is basically what it looks like. Now what else have been told? One child got all 3 flats, मतलब 90 lakhs के तो उसको flats ही मिले, but did not get the house. One child other than Geeta got 30 lakh in bank deposits. तो पहले तो 90 lakhs के flats का काम देख लेते हैं. Now this person has got less than 35 lakhs ना, ये सब मिला के. तो इसको तो सारे फ्लैट्स नहीं मिल सकते, बिकॉज फ्लैट्स देमसेल्व्स वुड हैव बीन 90 lakhs का वर्थ. तो 35 माइनस x मिला है, मतलब दिस पर्सन नीता हैज डेफिनेटली नॉट गॉट द 3 फ्लैट्स. व्हाट अबाउट सीता? सीता हैज गॉट 70 lakhs वर्थ ऑफ हाउस प्लस फ्लैट्स प्लस कैश, बट फ्लैट्स का वर्थ इज 90 lakhs. सो सीता इज ऑल्सो नॉट द वन हु हैज गॉट ऑल द फ्लैट्स. सो ऑल द फ्लैट्स हैव गॉन टू गीता. ठीक है, सो गीता हैज गॉट 90 lakhs वर्थ ऑफ फ्लैट्स. फाइन. So 90 lakhs worth of flats is what Geeta has got. Now she did not get the house. तो house plus flats plus cash है. So 90 अगर उसके पास flats हैं, तो how much cash does she have? जो बचा हुआ 15 plus x है, that should be cash, because house तो उसको मिला नहीं है गीता को, right? So गीता का split is this: 90 flats and 15 plus x is cash. ठीक है. Now let's look at Sita. One person has got the house. Right, one person will have got the house now. House का value is 50 lakhs. अब नीता को पूरा मिला के 35 lakhs से कम पैसा मिला है, तो why will she get 50 lakhs or how can she get 50 lakhs का house? So it is obvious that 50 lakhs का जो house है ना, that has gone to Sita. अब 70 lakhs is house plus flats plus cash. Flats तो सीता को नहीं मिले, house सीता को मिला है, तो बचा हुआ 20 lakhs का cash is going to go to Sita. ठीक है, that is what we know. What about Nita? Nita has not got house, Nita has not got flats, तो ये पूरा का पूरा 35 minus x is cash. So 35 minus x becomes cash. ठीक है, so that is what we know in this particular case. Now what else do we know here? We will know here that in terms of ये वाला part we have taken care of, did not get the house. One child other than Geeta. So Geeta नहीं, but one child got 30 lakh in bank deposits, मतलब cash मिला उसको 30 lakhs का. Now 15 plus x could have been 30, but Geeta को तो 30 lakhs नहीं मिला according to the question. सीता हैज गॉट 20 lakhs in cash, तो उसको 30 lakh in bank deposit कैसे मिलेगा? So the only person left is Neeta. Now Neeta would have got 30 lakhs in terms of cash bank deposits. मतलब हाउस नहीं है, फ्लैट्स नहीं है, तो बचा हुआ कैश और बैंक डिपॉजिट्स. कैश एंड बैंक डिपॉजिट्स आई एम यूजिंग इंटरचेंजेबली हियर. ठीक है, सो ये 30 हो गया, बट उसको तो 35 माइनस एक्स मिला था. सो वी कैन से दैट 35 माइनस एक्स इक्वल्स 30 और यू विल गेट एक्स इक्वल टू 5. ठीक है, क्वेश्चन क्या है? हाउ मेनी गोल्ड कॉइन्स डिड दिस ओल्ड वुमन हैव? x is 5, number of gold coins was 18x. For this question हमने 18x लिया था value of gold. So 18x was the value of gold. 18 5s are 90 lakhs was the value of gold coins. Every gold coin is 1 lakh का, तो कितने gold coins हुए? 90 हो गए. So the correct answer here is option B, that is 90. Last question देख लेते हैं. How much did Geeta get in bank deposits? In lakhs of rupees. Geeta in bank deposits. So Geeta in terms of cash got 15 plus x. But we had got the value of x as 5, so 15 plus x बन जाएगा 20. So Geeta would have got 20 in terms of bank deposits and 20 lakhs of rupees. यहाँ पे just be careful. Sometimes you can get a question which will talk about it in terms of rupees. पूरे सेट के अंदर lakhs चल रहा है, but एक question you can get जहाँ पे they might ask you it in terms of rupees. एक बार ये हुआ था, I think CAT 2016 if I remember correctly. There was one question wherein they had asked it in terms of value and पूरे के पूरे पैसेज सेट के अंदर everything was in terms of thousands and lakhs. So it was very easy for you to get confused and write lakhs as your answer. तो 2 lakh लिखते, but the answer was 200,000, right? तो यहाँ पे भी अगर ये lakhs नहीं होता, in rupees होता, you have to be very careful. Then your answer would have been this, right? So units, tens, hundreds, thousand, 10,000, lakh, 10 lakhs. So 20 lakhs ये आंसर होता. अगर ये lakhs नहीं होता तो because this question has lakhs in it already, your answer will be 20 to this one. All right. So those were the two sets that we had for today. So it was a quick session today, and two sets, both of them were pretty mechanical. Once you started solving them, you would have been able to finish them early as well. So in case there is some doubt, something you are not understood, something that is not clear, let me know. If you realize it at a later point in time that something was off or something you need more convincing when it comes to something in this set, let me know about that as well, and I'll try to address it in the comments if you get back to me. I try to reply to all the comments that we get on the channel. I reply to all the comments that we get on the channel, right? Or at least I respond to them. So I'm sure that if you ask a question, it will be answered. So don't worry about it. Okay? So if there's anything, let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer the query that you might have. So I'll wait for 30 odd seconds for the buffering to get done, and if there are no questions, then I'll close the session, and then I'll see you again tomorrow with another session. I believe tomorrow is geometry from what I remember. I'll just check it once till the time you are done with this. Yes, tomorrow is geometry. Lot of nice questions we have scheduled for tomorrow. So yeah. Alright, got the sets? Perfect. Chalo. I'm glad you got them, Rajat. Easy sets the, not very difficult to be very honest. So very straightforward questions. Tomorrow we have mostly quadratics, triangles, circles. Quadratics, triangles, circles. One question on mensuration. One on circles, one on parallelograms. Yeah. So that is basically what we have for tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll have geometry. So make sure that you take the test before you turn up for the session for best results. Otherwise, I'll generally wait on every question for 30 seconds, 1 minute. So don't worry about it. But it's best if you can solve them beforehand so that you're not surprised when you see them for the first time here. Alright, so thank you everyone for turning up. Have a great evening ahead of you, and I'll see you again tomorrow in the evening 8 p.m. with the daily drill on geometry. Alright.